What's happening, people? Good morning, New York, and welcome everyone to our live stream. We are broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch TV in an effort of bringing the financial markets to your doorstep and help each and every one of you make informed decisions about investments in the amazing CFDs markets. The episode today is proudly sponsored by our partners at Forex and Markets.com. Guys, if you like what you see, please feel free to like, share, subscribe on our YouTube channel and support us in delivering more great content. Feel free to also type your comments, type your questions, and interact with me during these webinars, and I will do my best to answer every single question you have. Here's what's going on in the markets today, guys. U.S. stocks are seen opening higher today with the Dow Jones up over 100 points after their worst bounce in over a month. Core durable goods orders came out on a positive 0.8% versus an expectation of 0.4%. Stimulus hopes fade before the U.S. elections as Senate Republicans refuse to go along with Donald Trump's plans. And the tropical storm Zeta is heading towards the Gulf Coast, and its residents are bracing for its impact. Quick look at the top 5 things to know in the markets today, guys, and we will ring the bell together in 9 minutes for the U.S. markets opening. Number 1 on the board today, stimulus hopes fade. The durable goods house price data are due. Hopes for a stimulus package for the U.S. economy is the near term all but died as Majority Leader Mitch McConnell adjourned the Senate until November 9th. Senate Republicans have been the major stumbling block to a deal in recent days, refusing to go along with President Trump's calls for a bigger package. Updates from the economy due later include the durable good orders for September at 8:30. They were released already. House price data at 9 a.m. and the Richmond Fed Regional Business Survey, along with the Conference Board's Consumer Sentiment Index at 10 a.m. Number 2 on the board, guys. Let's not forget we are in the middle of the earnings season, and this week we have a huge week on the economic calendar. All the big boys are coming out to play. We have AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, has agreed to buy rival chipmaker something with X. I'm finding a word that's challenging my English today. In an all-stock deal valued at $35 billion in one of the year's biggest merger deals so far. The deal opens up essentially new markets for AMD, which has traditionally focused on chips that are used in laptops and gaming systems. The other company, let's just call it the other company, specializes in chips that can be reprogrammed by their buyers, including data center operators, telecommunications companies, and the defense sector. The deal continues a wave of consolidation in the chip-making sector, coming only a couple of weeks after NVIDIA agreed to buy UK-based chip designer ARM Holdings from SoftBank for $40 million. Very, very good news for AMD, guys. For the stock traders, if you're trading stocks, look for this stock, guys, and see what's going to happen today after the US opening in just 6 minutes from now. Okay, great potential for the upside for AMD, especially after a news like this. Let's move on to number 3 on the board, guys. Stocks set to bounce weekly, and pharma earnings are due. U.S. stock markets are set to open with a modest bounce after the worst day in over a month yesterday. At 7:15 a.m. Eastern Time, Dow 30 futures were up 102 points or 0.4%, while the S&P 500 futures were up in parallel. NASDAQ futures were outperforming slightly, up over a little more than 0.5%. It's an intense day for earnings, with pharma companies leading the early reporters. Merck put in the strongest performance, while Pfizer also edged past expectations for profit, but not on revenue. Eli Lilly stock fell 3% in pre-market hours after the company reported a 4% drop in the third quarter profit, a day after acknowledging that its experimental antibody treatment for COVID-19 had not produced the desired results in the tests. Number 4 on the board, European banks put pressure on regulators with strong results Two of Europe's largest banks posted stronger than expected results, putting pressure on the continent's regulators to lift their current bans on dividend payments. HSBC stock rose today 6.4% to a 10-week high after a strong rebound in the Chinese economy helped it to report higher profits and lower loan losses provisions. Spain-based Santander also beat expectations after growth upgrades in Brazil and Mexico, two of its most important markets, and a second straight quarter of lower provisions. Well done for the European banks so far. Number 5 on the board, guys, and probably the last thing we're going to talk about ahead of the U.S. opening: oil bounces, British Petroleum's debt stabilizes, API eyed. Crude oil prices bounced overnight after heavy losses in line with other risky assets on Monday, but U.S. crude futures were still stuck below the $39 a barrel, while Brent futures were at $41.23 a barrel, also toward the lower end of their range over the last 4 months. The day's routine corporate tale of woe came from UK major British Petroleum, which reported a small underlying loss for the third quarter. British Petroleum stock eked out 0.8% gain as investors took comfort in a small decline in net debt that improved the chances of it not cutting its dividend any further. The focus later will be on the American Petroleum Institute weekly assessment of U.S. crude stockpiles, to be released at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Data from Gas Body suggest U.S. gasoline demand fell by some 0.5% last week. Let's see what the figures will show us in the next hour or so, guys. Until then, we are just 3 minutes away from the U.S. market opening. Let's have a quick look at the charts, guys, ahead of the opening and see how the most traded assets performed today. We're looking at crude oil, which is currently trading at 31.81. Very little changed from where it was this morning. Very little activity on the markets today. We're moving on to the Euro USD pair, which traded slightly higher today. This morning, I remember it opened very close to the 200 moving average. Okay, and it managed about an hour after the European opening to shift direction. Yeah, and point higher. It's currently trading at 118.31. Good signs with the RSI and the stochastic still pointing upwards and not being able to be in the oversold or overbought levels. Still gives traders a bit of hope for the upside. Okay, for the ones of us that need a stronger euro, guys, let's hope the euro will eye for the 118.60 mark today, gaining about 30 pips shortly after the US opening. On the other hand, we're looking at the pound, guys, which traded mixed today. Not a lot of movement on the pound, as we saw this morning. A EU delegation is in UK to talk about the potential of signing a Brexit deal, by 31st of December. And the discussions will last till tomorrow afternoon, till Wednesday afternoon. So a lot of pressure on the pound, but we see it currently trading at 130.42, bouncing off the 200 moving average, which is the red line there. RSI and stochastic again pointing upwards. The candlesticks seem to be consolidating, above the 200 moving average and going through the 50 moving average as well. Let's hope on a bit of positivity for the pound today. Quick look at the bear with me for a second, because I don't want to miss the market's opening today, guys. Okay, we're about 1 minute to 2 minutes away from the market's opening. USD JPY, we see the US dollar pushing downwards, pushing lower as closer as we get to the US opening. It literally traded sideways today. We saw a bit of a drop this morning. But apart from that, we saw the dollar trading sideways. We're looking at the Aussie dollar, on the other hand, that, again, very little changed. It's ranging on a very narrow range as things stand right now. Again, I'm keeping an eye on the market's opening. I don't want to miss the market's opening today, guys. It's a very big day, and I want to ring the bell with you again. Yesterday we missed it. We had Neil in the studio via Skype, live from London. Right, we see some comments, guys. Okay. I thought there's something serious in the comments. There's nothing serious in the comments. Yeah, we have an advert, and hopefully after this advert, we're going to get the chance to ring the bell for the U.S. market opening. And most importantly, let's see how the S&P 500 will open today, as well as the Dow Jones. Okay, I'm going to bring the markets on the screen, the markets opening on the screen. Once again, we are 16 seconds away from the US opening. Okay, count with me, guys, if you wish. Yeah, we're 9 seconds away. We are focusing on a 15-minute chart on the S&P 500. Let's see if the S&P 500 will open higher today in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the US trading session, everyone. Good morning, New York. Good morning, America. And good afternoon, Europe. We see the markets are reacting. They should react any minute now. Okay, yes, we see a higher opening as things stand right now. Let's have a quick look at the Dow Jones and see how the Dow Jones reacted today. Just going to decrease it to a 5-minute chart. Yes, indeed, positive opening, but still very, very shy, guys. Very, very shy, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones today. Probably the complete absence of stimulus spooked investors. Even though the markets open positive, yeah, we see a red candlestick opening. Let's give it a few minutes and see where it's going to go. And until then, we're moving to the US dollar index, guys, which traded lower today. It bounced off the 200 moving average from what you see there. Okay, traded slightly lower today. It's currently trading at 92.15. Okay, and by the looks of it, okay, it might push a bit higher after the US opening. We're looking at gold, guys, which is almost unchanged from this morning when it was trading just above the $900 mark. It's currently trading at 1903. This morning was trading somewhere at 1907, 1908 from what I remember. Okay, we see the RSI and the stochastic diverging a bit. Let me change the time frame to a 4-hour chart. Maybe we get a clear indication. And we do, indeed, we do get a clear indication. Doesn't look very good. We see the RSI and the stochastic pointing downwards. The RSI somewhere between the overbought and the oversold levels, around the 45% mark. Okay, and we see the stochastic pointing downwards. Okay, which does not give us any hope in gold price pushing higher today, at least from the technical point of view. But remember, guys, financial markets are unpredictable, and the situation might turn around any minute now. Let's move on to Brent oil futures, which again traded lower today. They're currently trading at 41.11. Okay, we see a very shy recovery just ahead of the US markets opening. Nothing really big happened today. We see silver futures taking a hit just before the US opening, or shortly after the US opening. Yeah, with the RSI and the stochastic pointing sharply lower. Okay, and the silver futures giving away about, what did they give away? About 20 points. Okay, 20 points as things stand right now. There is potential towards the downside, guys. We might see silver futures trading lower at 23.70 if we were to look at the most previous low. Okay, the most recent low. Let's see how the markets will react. And the Bitcoin, guys, traded higher today. Again, Bitcoin is the absolute champion, which keeps trading higher and higher when the entire financial markets around the world are tumbling down. We see Bitcoin gaining a bit of strength, yeah, and trading higher. Currently trading at 13,395, just $5 short of the the 13,400 level. Okay, the candlesticks seem to be consolidating somewhere in the upper side, yeah, in the upper 13,300. There is potential for a tiny pullback. Looking at the RSI and the stochastic at the bottom of the chart, we know that after a good rally, the markets like to come back and test the moving average. Yeah, the moving average is either the 50 moving average or the 200 moving average. If you're trading on a higher time frame, yeah, like 1 hour plus, 4 hours and daily, then you have to pay close attention first to the 50 moving average and then to the 200 moving average. If you're trading on a very short time frame, yeah, on 5-minute charts, on 15 minutes charts, or 30 minutes charts, then obviously you're going to pay attention more to the 200 moving average, okay, for midterm trading or intraday trading. Now, let's read a very, very interesting article. about the markets today, investors will likely focus. Bear with me for a second. Let me just kill these pop-ups. Right, investors will likely focus today on the release of a raft of key earnings. Eli Lilly stock fell 4.6% in pre-market trading after reporting a 4% drop in profit. Okay. Rival drug producer Merck rose 1.3% after handily beating expectations for earnings, while Pfizer stock slipped after the company said it wasn't yet ready to release preliminary data from late-stage trials of its COVID-19 drug. That's why Pfizer is so important, guys. Apart from giving men the famous blue pill, apparently now they are competing in finding a COVID-19 vaccine, which, well done to them, is very, very important for everyone. Right, in the spotlight today are also numbers from Caterpillar, where profit fell 54%, guys, slightly less than expected. And 3M company, software giant Microsoft, starts a big week for the tech giants, even as they face increasing antitrust scrutiny. Right, now, quick look at the economic calendar, guys, to see what happened with what announcements we had today. Yeah, very, very little announcements in the Eurozone. We only had the France job seekers total, which came out better than expected, better than the previous one. Yeah, 3,606,000. Okay, and then we had the core durable goods orders on the US dollar. Okay, which came out in green, way above consensus expectations. Okay, in 22 minutes, we're going to have the consumer confidence, which weighs heavily. You can see it has 3 stars next to it. So that means very high importance or very high volatility expected. Okay, so consumer confidence is basically what gives the boost for the economy. Okay, it literally shows how much confidence consumers have in the economy if they're on the market to spend money. Yeah. Or they are holding back from spending money, not knowing what the economy will do soon. So very, very big announcement, very important announcement to be announced in the next 22 minutes. Now, I was telling you earlier on that we have another tropical storm heading in the Gulf of Mexico, heading towards the mainland. Okay, we see tropical storm Zeta makes its way toward the U.S. coast after slamming into Mexico as a hurricane. Okay, so apparently it reduced the power slightly. Let's go through the article and see what the article said. The article was released about an hour and a half ago, so it's fairly fresh. Right, so after slamming into the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, tropical storm Zeta is heading towards the Gulf Coast, and residents are bracing for its impact. Zeta made landfall in Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico as a Category 1 hurricane Monday night, so last night, bringing heavy rains and possible storm surge to a region struck by Delta just 3 weeks ago, according to the National Hurricane Center. It weakened slightly to a tropical storm, but is expected to strengthen back into a hurricane over the Gulf of Mexico before reaching the U.S. coast on Wednesday. Yes, so in about 12 hours from now, guys, this tropical storm Zeta might turn into a hurricane and hit the mainland. Let's have a quick look at its track as things stand right now. Oh, and by the way, I have a very, very funny thing I want to share with you. Let me zoom out a bit. Right, have a better look at the track. Okay, and I'm sure you will understand what I'm talking about. A very, very nice web design here. Very, very nice design. But anyway, I'm going to zoom in and focus on what's important here, which is the track of this tropical storm to be, hurricane to be. Yeah, we can see it turning right. Okay, and heading towards New Orleans, straight towards New Orleans. Okay, and then advancing towards Atlanta, Georgia, South Carolina, and further up towards New York. Okay, if it's going to continue the same path, then probably it's not going to have a huge impact on the mainland. But if it's going to shift direction towards the left, then we might see, unfortunately, again some big impact and millions of people leaving homes. Now, keep an eye on InstructFX, keep an eye on the news, guys, and we will let you know with how the storm is performing. Right, very, very interesting, guys. Today, in the economic calendar, in the earnings calendar, we have Microsoft announcing their quarterly numbers. Pfizer Merck and other big names. There is Eli Lilly and Co. and there's 3M company. AMD is the one I was telling you about. Very, very interesting stock to keep an eye on today. Let's see what's going to happen tomorrow. We have Visa, MasterCard, Boeing, and Sony Corporation, along with GlaxoSmithKline, announcing their second quarter or third quarter earnings. Okay, again, we have more and more companies. We have Blackstone. We have more and more companies, mid-cap and large-cap companies announcing their numbers. But by far, the most important ones that we see now are Visa, MasterCard, Boeing, Sony, GSK, and AMD. Now, on Thursday, guys, we have Apple and Amazon announcing, as well as Alphabet. Alphabet A and Alphabet C, which are the ex-Google, as well as Facebook and Samsung. So very, very big day on Thursday on the stock side of things. A very big day on Thursday for the U.S. indices, for Dow Jones, for the S&P 500, for NASDAQ, and for the tech sector in the U.S. This is what is happening. Now, quick look, guys. Let's have a quick look at some trading signals and see how investing.com sees the major currencies. We're looking at USD CHF set in a strong sell on all 4 time frames after the US opening. We're looking at USD JPY again, set on a sell position on a 5-minute chart, and again strong sell positions on the other time frames. We're looking for something a bit clearer, something that will give us a bit more clarity. And as I was saying this morning, guys, in times like this, is not a must that you all trade the majors. Look for the minors. Look for something that gives you a clear indication on the market's direction. And what do we see here? We see the Kiwi dollar set in a strong buy versus the US dollar on all 4 time frames. There you go. Look here at the top of the chart. Strong buy on all 4 time frames. Do a bit of chart analysis. Have a look at the Kiwi dollar. And if it makes sense, you know what you have to do. Let's have a quick look at commodities, guys, and see how investing.com sees commodities today after the US opening. Right, we're looking at a bit of mixed signals. Usually gold and silver tend to move together, tend to move in the same direction, but as things stand right now, we see gold set in a strong buy and silver set in a strong sell on all 4 time frames. Okay, I didn't pay close attention if there was any article released regarding silver in the last half an hour. Probably there was something on the market that gave the markets this direction. It's very, very weird when you see things like this. I told you, usually gold and silver tend to move together. They tend to move in the same direction. Brent oil and crude oil shortly after U.S. opening are still very, very undecided. The overall signal, the daily signal, remains a strong sell for oil. But we might see a tiny correction as we see a strong buy on crude oil on a 5-minute chart. Okay, the Brent oil 5-minute chart is still neutral. Let's move lower and see the US wheat, which has a strong buy on all 4 time frames. This is what is happening with the markets today after the US opening, guys. Let's have one more look at the charts and see if there's any movement that will get us by surprise. Okay, we see euro pushing higher versus the US dollar after the US opening. We see the pound getting ready for the slingshot effect. Okay, that pulled back and grinded that area there just above the 200 moving average. Okay, so if we're going to see a slingshot effect, then probably traders will eye the 130.91 level. Okay, and they will try to get 60, 70 pips out of it. Okay, let's move on to USD JPY. USD JPY is pushing lower as things stand right now. Okay, trading lower at 104.60. USD Canadian as well is still very shy, but by the looks of things, is looking to push lower. Okay, you can see this beautiful candlestick formation here that usually indicates a bit of a downtrend. Let's see what the markets will do in the next few hours. Okay, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, even though they opened slightly higher today, still the last candlestick is red, the 1-hour candlestick. The 15-minute candlestick, we see it closing in red, and we have a green candlestick opening. So there might be a bit of buying power on the markets today. We might see the S&P 500 testing at least the 50 moving average. Okay, if not the 200 moving average. Dow Jones again is replicating whatever the S&P is doing. Yeah, we see shortly after the opening, we see a red candlestick closing, and then we see a green candlestick opening, but still not a lot of buying power. We don't see it pushing higher. No, the markets are very, very insecure as things stand right now. We can see them consolidating above the 50 moving average, which usually indicates a bit of buying power. But let's see what's going to happen in the next hour or so. On top of everything else here, we see a death cross being formed between the 50 and the 200 moving average above the Dow Jones. We know they are lagging indicators. Okay, so they react with a bit of latency. Okay, maybe if I change the time frame to a 4-hour chart, we can get a clear indication. Right, there we go. Overall, the S&P 500 on a 4-hour chart is well supported by the 200 moving average. If you look towards the right-hand side, where it moved before and it tested the 200 moving average, the price tends to bounce off the red line. Okay, so now the question is, enough is enough for the S&P 500. Will it trade higher from this level? Okay, or is it gonna come down, test the 200 moving average, and then start pushing a bit higher? Only time will tell. No one can tell us this for sure. All we can do is hope for a recovery of the U.S. stock markets today. Right. This is it from my side today, guys. Remember to trade responsibly, and join me in exactly 3 minutes, guys, as we're coming back with Giovanni, the passive trader, and Dumb Money with Giovanni. We're coming back live in exactly 3 minutes, guys. Stay tuned. Until the next market opening tomorrow morning, remember to trade responsibly, and may all your trades be in the money.